I'm Judge Amy Carter. This is courtroom 1, session 1. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Kathy Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney.
Cody Jordan with the Public Defender's Office.
And Rebecca Hammeroff with statewide prosecution.
Okay, thank you. Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Javion Hempel.
Mr. Hempel, you're here in 19 CF 9515. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause habeas for the offense of grand theft, first degree, and burglary of a structure. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. You are to surrender any passport to the clerk of the court prior to your release. You're not to travel outside the state of Florida until further order of the court. You're to have no contact directly or indirectly with any co-defendants or state witnesses. You're to possess no firearms or weapons and possess or consume no drugs or alcohol. Your bond is currently set at none, sir, and you'll have to see the judge that's assigned to the case to have the bond modified.
Your Honor, according to the warrant, the judge mentioned that the bond is to be set by the initial appearance judge. So,
Yes, Your Honor. Typically, our warrants ask that they not be set until the arraignment. Judge Wilson wanted to put them in as no bond at that time.
Yeah.
And she said that the IA judge would have more information. What I believe she meant by that is information on their prior records.
I'm reading the probable cause warrant, the order, and it says bail may only be modified by the trial judge to whom the case is assigned, which is Judge Barber.
Yes, and that's what we typically put that. I believe on the actual capiases, she at least told me that she was going to be scratching that part out and writing.
yes, and the documents on Odyssey, that is scratched out, and it's literally written in handwriting, IA judge.
I didn't see that.
And that's a note I had. And as for the probable cause affidavit, I did not get a copy of that until this morning.
Because I don't
From the
have
prosecutor.
any other information about the cases to even set bond. I went through Odyssey this morning, and there's nothing in there. There's only the motion to seal,
Yes.
and then there's no other supporting probable cause documentation. So I have no information about the facts.
I have a copy. I have it on I could forward it to the court.
Okay.
On my phone. I have a copy that
But I
needs to-
do want to look again because I looked this morning, and on the actual capias, I have no indication that there's a modification allowed. I don't know if it's on a different co-defendant's capias. Oh, that's interesting, okay. The one in Odyssey does indicate that the IA judge is allowed to, the paperwork I was provided does not indicate that, so, I would wanna look at that supporting probable cause documentation before I set the bond.
Yes, Your Honor. I can email it. If I can get the clerk's email address, I can email it to the
Okay.
clerk or directly to the court, whichever the court prefers.
Do you want to print, you email me and I can just print a copy?
That'll work.
I'll
Thank you.
print
You can print it out, oh, thank you, okay.
Two copies, if you don't mind. I just sent it to Your Honor.
It's just interesting that it's not on the signed copy that I have and the scanned copy is.
Well, it's also interesting that we don't have any supporting documents in Odyssey as to the probable cause to issue the warrant.
Once it's sealed, that's
The
not,
court had a copy of it when it
yeah,
was.
that's not odd.
And And I did talk to the clerk of court this morning to try to have it unsealed prior to IAs, and they were not able to.
Okay.
It was supposed to be unsealed when the warrants were executed. So we're gonna, after court today, we're gonna go back and find out why that wasn't done yet.
Okay.
It's just,
All right, so then for each of the defendants, are the orders supposed to be modified? Is that your understanding?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm just gonna double check, because none of the copies that I have.
Am I approached with the PC affidavit?
Sure, thank you. Thank you.
I have about two. Do you want a hard copy as well?
no problem.
I tried to print a copy this morning, but everything's sealed, so I couldn't. Yep. As soon as they requested, it was supposed to be
That's what it is, it's not public until.
Right.
All right, Mr. Hempel, your bond on count one is gonna be $5,000. Your bond on count two is going to be $2,500. Okay, thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Good morning, James Williams.
Mr. Williams, this is 19 CF 9515. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause capias for grand theft, first degree, and burglary of a structure. Your affidavit seeking the appointment of the public defender, sir, states that you make $500 a week. Is that correct?
No,
No, how much do you make every week after taxes?
250.
Okay.
That's 500.
Oh, every 2 weeks, yeah.
Right, so you had $250 per week. Right, okay. You would qualify then, right? $250 a week, so it's 500 every 2 weeks. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna change the information on your affidavit, sir. You do qualify for the public defender, and I'm gonna appoint them to represent you. Sir, you're not to have any contact directly with the co-defendant, any victims or witnesses in this case. You are not to possess or consume any alcohol, illegal drugs, or controlled substances without a valid prescription. You're also not to possess any weapons or any firearms. You're also to surrender your passport and not travel outside of the state of Florida. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay.
But the half of the co-defendants I live with, like those are my brothers.
Your Honor, the state has concern with them living together and being able to speak to each other and having any contact with each other. I understand that they do all, one of the co-defendants' mothers has sort of taken these kids in, but the state's allegations are that this group is running around and committing all these crimes throughout Orange and Seminole County.
Okay. Mr. Williams, at this time, based on the information that I have, I'm not gonna strike that provision of the warrant. You're not to have any contact with your co-defendants. You'll have to have your lawyer file a motion, or they can present additional evidence to the judge that's gonna handle the case on that issue to see if it can be modified. All right? Your bond on count 1 is going to be $5,000. Your bond on count 2 is $2,500. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, is the court able to require that for them to bond out that they provide the address that they will be living at once they post the bond?
I'm not going to do that to them. I mean, if they violate the court order, there's a mechanism to.
Very good, thank you.
Okay. Good morning, your name?
Good morning, John Williams.
Mr. Williams, this is 19 CF 9515. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause capias for the offense of grand theft, first degree, burglary of a structure, 3 counts, criminal mischief, 2 counts. You are to surrender any passport and not travel outside of the state of Florida, sir. You are not to have any contact with any of the alleged victims, co-defendants, or witnesses in this case. You're not to possess, consume any illegal drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription, and you're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $5,000. Your bond on count 2 is $2,500. Your bond on count 3 is $150. Your bond on count 4 is $150. Your bond on count 5 is $100, and your bond on count 6 is $100. Thank you, sir. There's 7. Did I miss one?
He has the most.
Is there a 7th count? It's only 6? Okay. Is that right? Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, your name?
Roosevelt Hemphill.
Mr. Hempel, this is 19 CF 9515. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause capias for grand theft, first degree, and burglary of a structure. You are to surrender any passport to the clerk of the court prior to your release, sir. You're not to travel outside the state of Florida until further order of the court. You're to have no contact directly or indirectly with any of the co-defendants or state witnesses or alleged victims. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms or possess or consume any alcohol or drugs. Do you understand? Your bond on count 1 is going to be $5,000. Your bond on count 2 is $2,500. Case number 19 CF, I think that says 751, 19 CF 3767, and 19 CT 562. Sir, I'm revoking all of your bonds in those cases and they will be set at none. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, that case that he was out on bond, you have a 2019 CF 6751. What's the other CF case, please? I know this is CT.
There's CF, I think it's 6751, and then 19 CF 3767.
And you have the 2019 CT 562AW.
Correct.
Thank you.
Good morning, your name?
Lameek McLeod.
Mr. McLeod, you were here in 19 CF 9515. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause capias for the offenses of grand theft, first degree, and 2 counts of burglary of a structure. Sir, you are to surrender your passport to the clerk of the court if you have one prior to your release, and you're not to travel outside of the state of Florida. You're also not to have any contact directly with the victim, co-defendants, or witnesses in this matter. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol, illegal drugs, or controlled substances without a valid prescription, and you're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond on count 1 is going to be $5,000. Your bond on count 2 is $2,500. Your bond on count 3 will be $150.
Okay.
I'm also appointing the public defender's office to represent you. Thank you.
Is that before the court may be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Good morning, are you Mr. Charles?
Morning.
Morning. Is that true, you're Mr. Charles?
Yeah.
Okay.
open 18mm 11026, open 19mm 542, 19mm 976, 19mm 1934, 19mm 5541.
All right.
Some of them are in the trial posture, I'm not sure why. Some of them are obviously competency.
It looks like you signed an order granting his release on June 25th, 2019.
In this
And that
case-
is in case number 2019 MM 542.
Okay. Oh, I see, okay, so I just released an ROR, but didn't make any nicer confidence. I think that was because no information had been filed on the case at the time. And in that case, there's still no information that came out. All right, I'm gonna grant Mr. Charles's motion. When was the last time Mr. Charles was evaluated? That's what I'm not seeing. All the evaluations are old. Are there any evaluations that are currently set, Mr. Jordan?
I'm not seeing that, but I would note that since he has been previously adjudged incompetent,
law doesn't say that, though. The case law says that the evaluations become stale around 6 months. And it just looks like he keeps being placed on conditional release on these evaluations that were done in 2017. I've got 2 in 2017, I've got 1 in early 2018, and that's all I have.
Well, and let me just cite the Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure 3.210A1.
Right?
Once a defendant has been adjudged incompetent, the presumption remains that they are incompetent until there is a hearing where the court finds the defendant competent.
Right, but
And I understand some may be stale, but at this point, we're asking for conditional release, not, and to continue that finding of incompetence. There have been no findings that he is competent since he's been adjudged incompetent. And I understand that more appointments of doctors and evaluations need to be conducted, but that does not necessarily mean that he is competent to proceed.
this doesn't make any sense to me that no one would have him reevaluated. He's got all these open cases, and he just keeps getting rearrested. It doesn't seem like anything's working. I mean, not to mention, half of the cases in the motion are from 2017, and then a person can't even be on conditional release in a misdemeanor case for more than a year. So I'm not even sure what weight those even have. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this case. I'm just gonna take this under advisement and I'll issue the order later. Sir, good morning, your name?
Carlos Ayala?
Mr. Ayala, you're here in 19 CF 9748. You were arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $3,500. You're not to have any contact with the alleged victim in this case, Edward Lewis. And you're not to possess any weapons or any firearms, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, here's some information for you. Do you have any questions? Let's set it to discussion.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Ronald Cooley.
Mr. Cooley, this is 19 MM 5620. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Cooley?
Adjudication, credit for time served, no return.
All right. Mr. Cooley, did you want to accept the offer?
What that means, Your Honor?
Means you'll be released today. You'll be convicted of the crime of trespassing and you'll be released from the jail today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I need you to sign the plea
Credit for
form,
4,
please.
Your Honor.
Pardon me?
4.
4 days. You have credit for 4 days, sir.
So I'll be released today?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, we'll enter a plea of no contest.
Great, thank you. Mr. Coley, did you read the plea form before you signed it, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes,
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
I know.
That would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
Okay. I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 4 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 4 days' time served. You are not to return to 101 East Colonial Drive, the scene of the trespass. You're also going to have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 9th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. What's your name?
Ronaldo Sanchez.
Mr. Sanchez, this is 19 CF 9750. You were arrested for a burglary of an occupied dwelling. There's probable cause. Your affidavit, sir, seeking the appointment of the public defender states that you make $1,250 every 2 weeks. Is that correct?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Do you make $1,250 every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
As the beach
And-
attendant.
Okay, and you don't have any family members or children you take care of?
I have one on the way in 4 days.
Okay, I'm gonna make that correction. So $1,250 every 2 weeks and one.
I have a baby boy.
Yes. All right, I'm going to change your affidavit to indicate that you do have one dependent, and I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $2,500, sir. You're not to return to 30 Cardamom Drive. Thank you.
So, I have a question.
Here's another case.
Okay.
I believe it is double jeopardy.
You have 19 CF 9749, that's burglary of an occupied dwelling and criminal mischief. There is probable cause for both of those offenses. I'll also appoint the public defender to represent you. In that matter, you're not to return to 12 Cardamom Drive,
I understand, ma'am.
and your bond is $2,500 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. Thank you.
Okay.
There's some bail bond.
Good morning, your name?
Paul Taylor, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor, you're here in 19 CF 9563. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for failing to report your birth month. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
Hey, ma'am,
Your bond is $1,000 in that matter. Yes, sir.
I was just here on the 11th of last month
Yep.
for the same thing, and I bonded out.
Yep.
Okay, they tell me when I went back to the DMV, he told me when you get out, go report. I went to jail. I came to jail reporting then on the 10th. that. They tell me I had to do it every 30 days when I got out of prison. Every 6 months from my birthday to June. Okay, June was my month to register. When I go to register, they lock me up saying that I failed. Okay, so when I'm like, how I failed, I'm here right now to do it. Then they say, well, you got to do it every 30 days because I was in transit. Okay, I just got out on the 11th of last month when I bought it out. The 30 days haven't up, so I was going to do that now because now I have an address. They said, if you have an address,
Okay, all
know
right,
what I mean?
I hear you, I hear you. So, Mr. Taylor, here's what I'm gonna do, I also saw on the court minutes there was no
I'm in a jail register.
instructions to report either on the court minutes from the June 10th arrest. So just listen to me, Mr. Taylor, just give me a minute, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not gonna revoke your bond on the 19 CF 7442 case, okay?
Okay.
You do have a bond on the new case.
Okay.
You need to talk to your lawyer or talk to someone who's going to explain the law to you and what your requirements are about reporting. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep,
Yeah, I understand.
Cycling.
That's the this because
Okay.
I work, man. I'm trying to do
I'm just
positive
trying to
things.
tell you what you should do,
I just
and
did
so
10
you don't
years in
keep coming
prison,
back.
man. I do not want to be in here. I promise I don't.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you. So you know you have reporting requirements. Listen to me, Mr. Taylor. You understand when you bond out of here, you also have reporting requirements when you're released from the jail.
Okay, so I did it last time on the 12th, and they said like you just was here to temp. You ain't got to report. Go ahead and go. So I'm like, all right, I left.
Well, I'm telling you now, when you are released from here, you have to go back and report.
Okay, yes,
Okay?
ma'am. I
Thank
got
you,
it.
sir.
Yeah, have a blessed day, man.
Right now.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Hamilton?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hamilton, this is 19M01272. You were arrested for open container. There is probable cause. Did you want a lawyer to help you with your case this morning, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is there an offer for Mr. Hamilton?
Adjudication credit for time served,
All right. Did you want to take that, Mr. Hamilton?
ma'am.
Okay.
credit for 2 days.
Mr. Hamilton, did you read the plea form before you signed it, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication this morning that would prevent you from understanding what's happening in court?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You are also going to have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 8th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Gilmarie Rivera Flores.
Ma'am, you're here in 19 CF 9751. You were arrested for driving while license revoked as a habitual offender and no motor vehicle registration. There's probable cause for the offenses. Did you want a lawyer to help you with your case, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am.
How much money do you make every 2 weeks after taxes?
Well, I get paid weekly, about 600.
So 1,200 every 2 weeks? All right. Do you have any children or family members that you take care of?
No.
Okay. Does she qualify? You're not going to qualify for the public defender, ma'am?
Well, I have a private attorney,
Okay.
Dominic Sigorski.
Okay.
I don't know, I told him yesterday, I don't know why he's not here. Like, I thought he would be here. he did say that he was gonna take on the case, so I don't know what's going on. I haven't been able to, they kept me in the lobby like all night until 4 o'clock in the morning, so I haven't been able to use the phone. They would give me a hard time.
Okay, tell me your
so-
lawyer's name again?
Dominic Sigorsky?
He represents her on both of her out on bond cases, right?
Ma'am, you can proceed with the hearing today, or we can reset your case for tomorrow, and I can have my assistant reach out to his office and let him know about the court hearing tomorrow. What would you like to do?
Well, I kind of wanted his help, but like, I don't know anything about this. I wanted to like get a bond so that I can get out and talk to my attorney, and then be able to like, you know.
The problem you have is that you have 2 out on bond cases for similar offenses. You don't have a driver's
Well,
license.
Which I don't understand. That's what I was asking pre-trial release. I was talking to them about it because it's just one that Dominic is handling about it. See, I don't want to keep on talking because I don't know, you know.
It doesn't make sense that it's just 2 Duilises, but the arrest date's the same, unless one was a warrant.
That's like a pretrial conference on August 27th for the 16313.
Yeah.
One two eight four three ACH. Started as a possession and a state filed a 2-count possession amendment Willis. She has a pretrial August 27th on that one.
They're 2 different offenses. I don't know why they're. Ma'am, in 18 CF 16313, the alleged offense date is November 15th of 2018. And in 18 CF 12843, the alleged offense date is September 5th of 2018. Ma'am, at this time, I'm gonna revoke your bonds on both of the out-on-bond cases, and those will be set at none. Thank
Can
you.
I talk to him real quick?
He doesn't represent you if he wants to. Mr. Jordan, if you wanna speak to her briefly, you can. Yes. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Thomas Milheiser.
Mr. Milheiser, this is 19 MM 5731. You were arrested for assault. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Is there an offer
Your
from
Honor,
Mr. Milheiser?
His attorney has already filed a notice of appearance.
Oh, Mr. Pollock?
Yes.
Okay. Is there an offer for?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Just for no contact with weapons.
Mr. Milheiser, do you want your attorney to be present? Do you want me to reset your case for tomorrow? Have you been in contact with him? Mr. Pollock is your lawyer.
I guess it'd be best to speak with with Mr. Pollock.
Okay. I'll have my office reach out to him and let him know that we're gonna reset your case for tomorrow morning. Okay? Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name, sir?
Good morning, Earl Tullis.
Mr. Tullis, you are here in 19 MM 5729. You were arrested for soliciting without a permit and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender. Is there an offer for Mr. Tullis?
Either ROR or an adjudication credit for time served.
You want to resolve your case today, Mr. Tullis?
Yes, I do.
All right, just sign the plea form, please.
Credit for 2 days, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we'll enter a no contest plea.
Mr. Tullis, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up? Are you on probation?
No, I am not.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, I have not.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, I am.
Sir, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You will also have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 9th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you, sir. good morning. Your name?
Tariq Bagley.
Mr. Bagley, this is 18 CF 8161. You were arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for trial on June 5th of this year. Your bond is set at none. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you if they were not previously appointed. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you gotta get a bond.
Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Kiana Blackerson.
Ms. Blackinson, you're here in 19 CF 9758. You were arrested for possession of ilazopram. There is probable cause. You were also arrested in 19 MM 676 for petty theft.
Yes, ma'am. I was just trying to feed my kids. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's all right. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender in both cases. She qualifies for PTR for both. Robin, is that right?
Yeah, she
Okay.
just has an active warrant out of Georgia, but it's in-state pickle home for failure to appear.
Okay.
But
So,
we did qualify her.
all right. Ma'am, I'm going to place you on pretrial release of this time. You're also not to go back to the Publix
Yes, ma'am.
at 1720 East Silver Star Road. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Give my opinion.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Michael Bowling.
Mr. Bowling, this is 19 CF 9089. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for failing to report after you vacated a residence within 48 hours and failing to report a name change or residence. Your bond on count 1 is $2,500. Your bond on count 2 is $500. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. On 19 CF 5696, sir, I'll take no action on that case at this time. Thank you.
Sir, you have reporting requirements.
Good morning, your name?
Tequila Code. Good morning.
Ms. Code, you're here in 19 CF 9082. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for sale or delivery of heroin. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond is $2,500, and in case number 19 CF 2348, I'm revoking your bond at this time, and that will be set at none. She's
Yes,
what?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's trying to update, but yesterday she wasn't.
Okay, well, then, I guess it should be closed. I'll take no action. Okay, thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Danny Dawson.
Mr. Dawson, you are here in 19 CF 9761. You were arrested for possession of ecstasy and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $100. And in 18 CF 17677, sir, I'm not going to revoke your bond. I'll take no action at this time. Thank you.
Your Honor, in this case, Anthony Etheridge, I believe this is a domestic violence case.
Were any victims or witnesses contacted by PTR on Mr. Etheridge's case?
Victim contact, not me. No contact.
So even if we reset it, it's not gonna have victim contact. So we
Okay.
should proceed with it in this court.
Yeah, I'm not gonna move the case. So, Mr. Etheridge, you're here in 19 CF 9767. You were arrested for possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond's gonna be $150 for that matter. You have 19 CF 9036, where you were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for the offenses of robbery with a weapon, aggravated battery of a pregnant person, battery by strangulation, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I'll also appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in that case. Sir, you're not to return to 927 Haas Avenue. The victim's name is not listed in the affidavit. State, do you know who that is?
Yeah, one moment, Your Honor. I'm gonna check an Odyssey, Your Honor. It's not in our systems.
Robin, do you know who it is?
I don't have it either, Your Honor.
Pull up the actual probable cause warrant. I don't see the victim's name in the affidavit.
I don't even know how you find probable cause without the name of a named victim. But that's already been determined. All right, well, sir, you're not to have any contact with the alleged victim in this matter. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms while you're out on bond. bond on count one is going to be $15,000. Your bond on count two is $150. Your bond on count three is $150. Your bond on count four is $150. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Alexander Fusey.
Mr. Fusey, this is 19 CF 9753. You were arrested for retail theft and using an anti-shoplifting control device. There is probable cause. Did you want to see if you qualify for the public defender, sir, or are you gonna hire a lawyer?
Public defender.
Okay, do you have a job?
No,
Do you have any source of income?
not currently.
All right, sir, based upon your testimony, I will appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm gonna place you on pretrial release, sir. You're not to return to Target at 718 McGuire Boulevard. And that's all, sir. Thank you.
Sir, do you have any questions?
Nope.
PTO, you gotta keep in contact with them.
Good morning, your name?
Question on Grace.
Mr. Grace, this is 19 CF 9747. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $1,000 and you're not to return to 12100 East Colonial Drive. That's Colonial Wine and Liquor. Thank you, sir. Good morning, are you Mr. Hayes? Yes, sir? This is 19 CF 9745. You were arrested for trespass on a designated construction site and soliciting without a permit. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Mr. Hayes, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, okay? You need to stay in contact with the public defender's office. That way you get notice of your next court date. Otherwise, they're going to issue a no bond warrant for your arrest. You also need to stay off the construction sites and off I-4. You're going to get killed. People aren't going to see you. They're going to run you over. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Come on up. What's your name?
Joshua Jett.
Mr. Jett, this is 19 CF 9726. You were arrested for driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions pursuant to a probable cause warrant. Your bond is $1,000 and I'll appoint the public defender.
That's the VOPs for.
You also have an on-view violation of probation because you were on probation out of Palm Beach County. There is probable cause for that violation of probation, sir, and I'm gonna set your bond at none in that matter. Thank you.
So I got to go to Palm Beach County. Yeah, don't bond. Yeah. So I still gotta wait for Palm Beach. How long before Palm Beach comes to get to me?
Good morning, your name?
Justin Moss, ma'am.
Mr. Masu, this is 19 CF 4741. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for false imprisonment and battery. You are not to have any contact with Jake Hagmeyer. You are not to have any supervised contact with anyone under the age of 18. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms while you are out on bond. Your bond on count one, sir, is going to be $3,500. Your bond on count two is $100.
Thank you, ma'am.
Was the public defender appointed?
Yes.
Or do you have any questions?
No unsupervised.
Well, you got a bond. So right now your bond is $3,500, count $100, count two. There's some numbers next. Okay, take 10%.
Thank you.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Selena Martin.
Miss Martin, this is 19 CF 9760. You were arrested for grand theft. There's probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $500, and you are not to return to Macy's, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
And she has a warrant for Duval County as well, Your Honor?
Correct.
She has a bond on that, $2,503. She should post that bond.
Do not post that bond. They're gonna hold you for 72 hours.
Oh, thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Lens, Stock.
Mr. Stark, is that right? Sir, this is 19 CF 9756. You were arrested for fleeing and eluding with lights and sirens activated. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm going to place you on pretrial release in order that you're not to drive a car without a valid driver's license, sir. Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Antoine Taylor.
Mr. Taylor, this is 19 CF 9737, sir. You were arrested for possession of cocaine, possession of a controlled substance, battery, possession of a prescription drug without a prescription, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond on count one is gonna be $500. I'm gonna ROR you on count two 3, 4, and 5.
Thank
Mr. Taylor, you're not to possess or consume any controlled substances, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning, are you Miss Upshaw?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, this is 19 CF 4278. You were arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear at arraignment on May 22nd of this year. Your bond is set at none, and I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Thank you.
The bond set at none, Your Honor?
Correct. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Adrian Zapata?
Mr. Zapata, this is 19 CF 2392. You were arrested for failing to appear for arraignment on June 13 of 2019. Your bond is set at none, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Are you Mr. Burton? Are you Mr. Burton?
Yes.
Good morning, sir. This is 19 MO 1271. You were arrested for open container. There's probable cause. State, is there an offer for Mr. Burton?
Adjudication, credit for time served.
All right. Mr. Burton, did you want to accept that offer?
Here, Your Honor. I think that's it.
Oh,
I believe we're hearing issues.
Yeah, go.
So the offer is not guilty of the credit time served. Credit time served.
Good morning, Mr. Burton. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't hear me. You were arrested for open container. The state's made an offer this morning of an adjudication of guilt and credit for time served. Would you like to accept that offer?
That would be fine.
Okay. I'll need you to sign the plea form, please.
Your Honor, was the public defender appointed in this
No.
case?
It's credit for 2 days, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Burton, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up? Is that no?
Yes. I read it twice, actually.
Okay, sir. And you don't have any questions?
No, I don't.
All right. Are you on probation?
No.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication this morning that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court?
No.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You'll also have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 9th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
The only thing that I would ask is I get $25 a week from a pays in Des Moines, Iowa, and I'm a veteran, disabled. So I would pay the court costs, but it's going to take a little bit of work because I have a pay, like I said, in Des Moines, and I got a social worker at Lake Baldwin. And
Oh, good, okay. Well, listen, when you get released, you just go down to the courthouse or talk to your social worker about it. Next time you see her, go and tell them, bring them your paperwork. And you can go down there anytime you want, and you can set up like a payment plan, and they'll help you out, and they'll be able to work with you on what you can afford.
great,
All right?
yes,
All right, thank you, sir.
thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, your name?
Latoya Key.
Miss Key, you are here in 19MO1273. You were arrested for open container. There's probable cause. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Miss Key?
Adjudication credit for time served of 2 days.
I'm wondering if there's an information that's been filed in her.
On this case?
No, she has an open case, 2019 MM 501. Your office filed a motion to find her incompetent on June 20th.
Yes, Your Honor, I was about to mention. As such, we'd ask Your Honor to take no action and to ROR her as to this charge.
State would object to just straight ROR based on competency status and the fact that she is continuing to be arrested on new law offenses. I think a conditional release plan is a better way to go.
She's been found ITP in 2017 CF 2263, 17 CF 5113, 17 CF 11585, 18 CF 621.
Games.
No, Your Honor. I just saw briefly, the court records.
Competent.
All the cases that she's out on bond for are either drugs or petty theft. So none of them are violent. I'm not gonna take any action on 19MM 501. Ms. Key, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance on 19MO 1273. Ma'am, listen to me very carefully. You're not to return to the Chevron. You're not to return to the Family Dollar at 918 West Colonial Drive. Do you understand? You're also not to possess or consume any illegal or controlled substances. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Key.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning. Your name?
Eric Consul.
Sir, you are here in 19 CO 757. You were arrested for soliciting without a permit. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Consgo?
Communication credit for time served.
Sir, do you want to accept the offer?
Yes, I do.
All right,
This will be a plea of no contest, Your Honor.
sure. Sir, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
Sir, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You're also gonna have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 9th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, Mr. Atkins refused.
All right, we're gonna reset Mr. Adkins. Sir, good morning. Are you Mr. Haskell?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you are here in 19 MM 675. You were arrested for trespass in a structure or a conveyance. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Haskell?
Communication credit for time served, no return. Credit for 2 days.
All right, so you can't return to the Wawa and you'll be released today. Do you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I just need you to sign the plea form.
This will be a plea of no contest, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Haskell, did you read the plea form before you signed it, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You're not allowed to return to the Wawa at 13501 West Colonial Drive. You'll also have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 9th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Good morning.
Are you Mr. Morrow?
Uh-huh.
Sir, you were here in 19 MM 5719. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Morrow?
Withholds, credit for time served, 2 days, no return.
Mr. Morrow, do you want to accept the offer?
Do I accept the offer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go home. It doesn't count as a conviction.
Well, no.
I'm just checking.
Mr. Morrow,
Yes.
did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Did I read something before I come in?
You did read the plea form?
The paper he got before, did you?
Yeah.
You did, sir?
Mhm.
Okay. Do you have any questions about anything that was on the form?
Do you have any questions?
Okay. Are you on probation, sir?
Oh, ma'am, I don't judge.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
All right. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served.
Thank
You will also have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 9th of 2020. You cannot return to 2720 East Colonial Drive. That's the Colonial Plaza. And you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Good morning. Your name?
Joseph Ramos.
Mr. Ramos, this is 19 MM 5704. You were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. Did you want a lawyer to help you with your case this morning, sir?
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to hire your own, or are you gonna see if you qualify for the public defender?
See if I qualify for a public defender.
Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any source of income?
A temp agency at the moment.
Okay. How much money do you make every 2 weeks after taxes?
I couldn't say, but roughly if I were to estimate, for 520.
Okay. Every, you see that?
Every 2 weeks.
520 every 2 weeks? Okay. Sir, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you based on your testimony. Was there an offer for Mr. Ramos?
Either ROR or withhold credit for time served.
Do you want to resolve your case this morning, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the offer's a withhold and credit for time served. You want to accept that?
Yes, Your Honor, this will be a plea of no contest.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ramos, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up on the form?
No, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea. I'll withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You also have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 9th of 2020. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you.
They don't. Orange County Probation. It's not state.
David Skelly is mental health, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We'll reset. We'll reset Mr. Skelly. Good morning, your name?
Michnikov Belfort.
You Mr. Belfort?
Yes.
Sir, you were here for an out-of-county warrant from St. Lucie County related to driving a license suspended with a prior conviction. Your bond is set at none, sir. St. Lucie County will come pick you up, and you will see a judge when you get there.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Sir, good morning, your name?
Rakim Blunt.
Mr. Blount, you were here for an out-of-county warrant from Volusia County for resisting without violence. Your bond is $1,000, sir. If you are unable to post that bond, Volusia County will come pick you up. You'll see a judge when you get there, and you do have reporting requirements when you are released from the jail. Okay? Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Richard Cromlish.
Mr. Cromlish, you were here for an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County for grand theft. Your bond is $3,000, sir. Have a copy of the warrant, so I don't know when it was, what the offense date is. I'm not gonna take any action, sir, on your out on bond cases at this time. I don't have enough information. But like I said, your bond is $3,000 on the Seminole County warrant. If you can't pay that, sir, Seminole County will come and pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there. Okay?
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Keith Davis.
Mr. Davis, you were here for an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County for a violation of probation. Your bond is set at none, sir. Seminole County is going to come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there.
Okay,
Thank you. Good morning, are you Mr. Levy?
Yes.
Sir, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Hillsborough County for being possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and carrying a concealed weapon. Your bond is, there's 2 counts of that. Your bond is set at none on each count. You'll see a judge, sir, when you get to Hillsborough County. Thank you. Good morning, are you Mr. Starks?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were here for an out-of-county warrant from Volusia County. It's a violation of pretrial release related to a possession of heroin charge. Your bond is set at none. Volusia County is gonna come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there. Okay? Thank you.
Marquise Williams is TLT Osceola County.
Okay. that mean he's not coming back? Right, okay. All right, well, based upon Mr. Dotson's second refusal, I'm gonna find that he's waived his appearance to come to court. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent him. There's probable cause for possession of cocaine and petty theft with 2 prior convictions. His bond on count 1 is $1,000 and his bond on count 2 is $150.
For the record, we waive his appearance for
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll reset Mr. Huggerwood.
Mr. Horn is also mental health.
Mr. Jordan, I'm going to appoint your office to represent Mr. Horn. Do you want to waive his appearance? It's a felony case. He can't resolve
Yes, Your Honor, we will waive.
the case. Okay, so that's 19 CF 8110. I'll appoint the public defender's office. He was arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for a failing to report vacating a residence within 48 hours. Looking to set his bond at $2,500.
Right, he's also out on an ROR 2019 CF 3615 AL.
I don't have that. What's the charge?
Failing to report.
Can you tell me the case number again?
Yes, ma'am, 2019 CF 3615 AO.
That case was not filed upon, and he was released ROR on his 33-day motion back in April of 2019. It still has no information filed.
Okay, I'm not gonna take any action on that case then.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan.
Mr. Manhoff, refused.
All right, I'm gonna reset his case one more time for tomorrow. Y'all wanna let me know when you're ready for the add-on in the 33 days?
Stage ready?
This is, are you Mr. Lau?
Low.
Good morning, sir. This is 19 MM 5576.
I believe this was a confusion of the covering judge on the 4th of July. This was a domestic battery set at none until seen by first appearance judge. The judge of first appearance stayed the no bond. So,
You asked for standard conditions, Your Honor.
standard conditions, regular bail, that's all we're asking.
It wasn't domestic.
Mr. Lowe, I'm gonna set your bond at $500. You are not to have any contact with Alexander Elder, and you're not to maintain any weapons or any firearms while out on bond. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. Kareem Alawi.
That should be granted. The state filed a no information notice, I believe, this morning.
19 CF 8113 Tamara Namey.
That should be denied. The state filed information on 7/9.
19 CF 8197 Jamal LaFortune.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day on 7/8.
That will be granted. 19 CF 7982 Garrett Lee.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That will be 19 CF 6760 Jerry Howell.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That will be granted. 19 CF 8217 Sergio Moreno.
That should be denied. The state filed an information and a request to transfer from felony to misdemeanor on 7/8.
That will be denied. 19 CF 8204 Todd Barrett.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That will be granted. Anything else? Okay, on the, Mr. Charles, I'm gonna just review that. I'll either have it to you tomorrow or this afternoon or tomorrow. Just wanna go over everything by myself. Okay, then we'll be in recess until 1 o'clock. Should have put Mr. Leon over here too, but we didn't. He was the other sign case that I reset.
Well, he is a sign interpreter. Mr. Williams
It's not a sign.
does not use signs.
Yes, so you
No,
have to write everything.
I know, but I reset Mr. Leon's case because I wanted to see him. Like, I didn't realize that it wasn't gonna be over here. He refused today? Okay. Okay, well, then I'm okay. All right. Mr. Jordan, your office, well, this is case number 19MM5640. Mr. Trevlin Williams, your office was supposed to go speak with him about his case. It
Yes,
was,
sir.
what would he like to do?
Your Honor, we're asking that he be ROR'd or mental health PTR. I believe he has not been screened for that. They tell me he does not qualify for PTR, but the reasoning is we have concerns of possible incompetency, and due to that, we're not going to entertain a plea today.
Sure. It looks like, I don't see, do you see anything that might disqualify from him from mental health pretrial release?
That's, possible, well, it's only an arrest, but the
Yeah.
occupied dwelling, but it's an arrest, not a conviction, so.
If I do ROR for him, well, the problem is that he failed to appear in his out on bond case. All right. Mr. Jordan, do you know why he failed to appear?
No,
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. So, if I do grant him ROR and do mental health PTR, will he be screened for that before he's released? Or do we have to come back?
Depends how soon I get the information back from mental health. It could be a couple of days. I don't even know if Helen is in today. I could send her an email and see if she responds back. And we'll go from there, Your Honor.
All right,
If
I'm
he-
gonna
if he
give him,
doesn't-
I'm gonna say the bond on 19, well, Mr. Jordan, do you know if your client can afford a bond?
Your Honor, I do believe he's homeless.
Because I would like him to be able to be on mental health pretrial release. That would help with a lot of things.
I've tried calling his grandmother's numbers disconnect. I tried leaving messages with his mom. No one's responding back to me.
Got it. Okay.
Um,
All right, so what I'm gonna do is on 19MM 5640, I'm gonna stay the bond at $500 or mental health pretrial release. And in the 19MM 4688, I am going to set bond at $100 or mental health pretrial release. And Mr. Jordan, if he doesn't qualify for mental health pretrial release and he can't make the bond, then you'll just need to file a bond motion.
Okay, so.
Okay?
See if they need you.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
Tara Lynn Bentley.
Ms. Bentley, you're here in 19 CF 9495. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for probable cause was previously found for the offense of shooting or throwing into an occupied vehicle and criminal mischief. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're gonna set your bond at $3,500 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. Ma'am, I'm also going to order that you are not to have any contact with Alyssa Torres, and you are not to possess any weapons or any firearms.
Ma'am, I don't have any weapons or firearms, and
Okay.
I was not there that day, but.
All right, well, thank you, ma'am.
Some information, like I said.
At 3,500 and 100.
So what's that? $350 to get out and $10?
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Jonathan Brinson.
Mr. Brinson, you are here in 19 CF 9775. You were arrested for destruction of evidence pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I will appoint the public defender. Your bond is $500, sir. 19 CF 7775. I will not revoke your bond in that case at this time. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Got Chris to sign off on the application. All right, good.
Good afternoon. Your name, sir?
Darryl Cook.
Mr. Cook, this is 19 CF 9772. You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance, criminal mischief over $1,000, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $3,500 on count 1, $150 on count 2, and $100 on count 3. You are not to return to 6300 Silver Star Road. That's the First Choice Auto Repair. Thank you, sir.
Some information for you here. Do you have any questions? Talk to your attorney.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Latrell Golden, ma'am.
Mr. Golden, this is 19 CF 9770. You were arrested for driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender in all your cases today, sir. I'm going to set your bond at $150 in this case.
Your Honor, I did have some issues with the second case as to the counts of possession of meth and possession of cannabis. I
Okay.
don't believe they were field tested according to the police report.
Okay, well, just give me 1 second. Let me
Of
call the
course.
case. It's 19 CF 9771. Mr. Golden, you were arrested for aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, aggravated fleeing and eluding with injury or damage, resisting officer with violence, resisting officer without violence, possession of ecstasy, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of a weapon or firearm by a convicted felon, and possession of cannabis. Mr. Jordan, your objection is what?
My objection is to the ecstasy and cannabis charges. I believe the police report identifies a number of what they call unidentified substances that will later be tested.
Say there's no objection to RORs, counts 5 and 8.
Okay, just 1 second. Bond on count 1 is $7,500. Bond on count 2, $2,500. Bond on count 3, $150. Bond on count 4, $150. ROR on count 5, $150 on count 6, $150 on count 7, ROR on count 8. You also have case number 18 CF 2426, where you were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for driving while license revoked as a habitual offender. Your bond in that matter is $1,500. Thank you, sir. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Your name, sir?
Victor Manuel Gonzalez Torres.
Sir, you're here in 19 CF 9773. You were arrested for retail theft greater than $300. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $1,000. You're not to return to Walmart at 11250 East Colonial Drive. Thank you, sir.
Talk to your attorney, they can file a motion for
Good afternoon. Your name?
Linda Smith.
How about, is it Helston bond out? Okay. She bonded. Thank you. You're Mr. Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're here in 19 CF 9768. You were arrested for trafficking in MDMA greater than 10 grams, less than 200, possession of a controlled substance, purchase of cocaine with intent to sell, possession of cocaine, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. I will appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. Your bond on count 1 is $50,000. Your bond on count 2 is $150. Your bond on count 3 is $150. Your bond on count 4 is $150. Your bond on count 5 is $100. And 19 CF 4283, I'm revoking the bond in that matter at this time. That will be set at none.
You revoking what bond?
Your
What I
bond- You're out on bond in 19 CF 4283 for aggravated battery on a pregnant person.
And that bond being revoked?
That's right. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
My next girl, Derek.
Sir, this is 19 CT 5063. You were arrested for driving while license suspended. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, and your bond is $500, sir.
He didn't no objection to ROR, Your Honor.
I just signed a violation of probation warrant for him this morning.
Yes, he has probation. So-
Thank you.
Mr. Dorado, it's pre-trial release, Your Honor.
Okay.
Sanders is bonded.
We're on Davis.
That's by Mr. Davis.
Sure, no problem. Good afternoon, your name?
Stephen Odosi.
Mr. Adosi, this is 19 MM 5735. You were arrested for trespass. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Erdosi?
Adjudication, credit for time served, no return of 2 days.
Would you like to accept the offer, Mr. Erdosi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sign the plea form, please.
This will be a plea of no contest.
Sure.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you, sir. Give it a moment. The judge is going to ask
Oh,
you
I'm
some
sorry.
questions. I'm sorry. She's going to ask you.
Sir, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 9th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
We have Mr. Davis, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Davis.
How you doing?
This is 19 MM 5739. You were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Davis?
Adjudication, credit for time served, or ROR.
You want to resolve your case today, Mr. Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just sign the plea form, please.
You on probation? United States citizen? Do you have any questions? No, sir.
Mr. Davis, did you read the plea form, sir, before you signed it?
Did you read the company?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. Is it 1 day or 2 days? 1 day. 1 day in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day time served. You'll also have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 9th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Antonio Jones.
Mr. Jones, you're here in 19 MM 5734. You were arrested for possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Jones?
Adjudication credit for time served.
All right, Mr. Jones, do you want to accept that offer today?
Yes.
All right, I'll need you to sign the plea form. Mr. Jones, you know that comes with a 1-year driver's license suspension, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
any questions about what's on the plea form?
Yeah, no, just far as the 1-year driver license suspension, hardship license still stand on the table for me?
I don't know, it's a question you'll have to ask a lawyer or the DMV.
Okay, so you can get Thank you, Rob.
Okay. Mr. Jones, are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right. I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days time served. You'll also have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 9th of 2020. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. 19 CF 5246. I'll leave the bond intact in that case and not revoke it today.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I'm sorry. Good luck.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Stephen Bernard Williams.
Tell me that again.
Arthemon Bernard Williams.
Mr. Williams, okay. Mr. Williams, you're here in 19MM 5737. You were arrested for providing false ID to law enforcement, resisting officer without violence, and loitering or prowling. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Williams?
Adjudication credit for time served.
Mr. Williams, did you want to accept that offer today?
Yes.
Okay, I'll need you to sign the plea form, please.
Are you currently on probation? No. You should let you know that Plea County is 72 hours. You'll be out for 24 hours.
I don't know. Well, I know.
I don't know if you have any warrants. You're not on probation.
The police report says that he has 2 warrants?
Yes, in Lake County.
Lake County.
Oh, it's Lake County, okay.
They ain't signed that, man.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Uh-huh.
Just don't want to.
No, I won't get this.
That's what we're doing right now.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about anything that's on the form?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You also have to pay court costs. Those are due by July 9th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Did Mr. Laws bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also Tamari?
Yes.
Awesome, okay.